Hey Ringside Crew. Welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
You gotta spit a little hot too, and get on that. Hey, hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III. Yeah, I had to say it because it's out there right now. And today in PA in the East Coast of the United States, we got thunderstorms outside. We have a fun experience right now. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the Angry Red Woman. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Didn't mean to give you the hawk too.
It's okay. It's viral right now, so
It could get me more views if I said it. But all I can think is Iron Sheik must be going, you bastard.
yeah. The Iron Chick is the OG.
The original the hawk too.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, they actually did like a video with her saying that girl's like Huck too, and then Iron Sheik going Huck too, Huck too.
Yep.
I was like, his daughter.
Yep.
That's his daughter. So, let's introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Sure. So I'm the Angry Red Woman Azaelle. I wrestle mostly in Quebec. Well, only in Quebec right now. I wrestled a bit in Pennsylvania, actually.
Wow.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, a couple of years ago. But yeah, I'm working in Quebec, and that's pretty much it.
Oh wow.
I've been wrestling for 10 years now.
Wow, 10 years. Wow.
Yep, 10 years
So
this year.
who trained you?
Um, it's actually some friends of mine back in Shawinigan, which is a really small city in Quebec. So it's really in the countryside of it. So people don't know them. I mean, they're my friends, but even if I say names, yeah, people will know them. But it's mostly one of my friends named Jason Boyd, who trained me back 10 years ago. So
Mm,
yeah.
awesome. So, like, when it comes to being like a professional wrestler in this world right now, you wrestled in PA. Is there
Yep.
any other states that you really want to go to, but you haven't had a chance to like really like adventure out and start talking to people?
Um. In fact, I really want to go everywhere. I don't have any a special target, but I really don't mind. I just want to travel. Uh, I've been to a lot of companies here in Quebec, so I just want to expand my horizons and pretty much go everywhere I can.
Awesome. So where in Pennsylvania did you wrestle? Because I'm from the Poconos.
It was in near Denver, Pennsylvania. It was a promotion called Rogue Women Warriors. The owner was Lufisto at that time,
Mm.
and she was getting a car every month, a car full of Quebecers going down there for every show every month. So for about a year and a half, I was in PA every month.
Oh wow.
Yep.
If you speak to her, I've been dying to interview that woman. I want to
Yeah.
interview her so
She's one
bad.
of
Every
my
time I
close friends.
yeah, please talk to her. Maybe she's watching this right. Hey, here we go. Let me can I if she's watching this, can I give a little promotion of myself so she maybe want to jump along? Because hey, LaVista, I am Joe Panther III of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. This podcast has been around for 4 years. Yes, Ric Flair style. Woo! Because with wine and dining, I like that. Flying across that country. I talk to every wrestler, male, female. I don't care. If they have a story, please bring it here. I've been watching your stuff, what you do with these women's wrestlers in Canada, and it's so cool. And I'm a big supporter of women's wrestling. February, Dudes at Ringside. Every year, it's women's wrestling.
Yeah,
So,
she actually started her own company in Quebec too. So she promoted the Rogue Women Warriors in PA, and now she's promoting the Women's Wrestling Syndicate here in Quebec, in Montreal, actually.
Yeah, and I actually put her shirt and the tank
Yeah,
top in my story, and I was like, man, I wish they'd come to PA. I rocked that shirt, the skull with the bow. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm a guy, I'd react to that. That's pretty sweet. I'm
It's
like, I want
the
a skull.
IWS, the IWS company. That's the logo, but they adapted it to the women's part of that company.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So is there any like wrestlers that you've been like scouting in from Canada or like different parts of Canada that you've been wanting to like work with that you haven't had a chance to really like scrap with yet?
I'm not a big wrestling. I don't want to say fan because I obviously I'm a wrestling fan, but I don't really watch independent wrestling
Mm.
from
All right, podcast is over.
in
Just
in
kidding.
in Canada. I mean, in Canada, usually I watch like ROH, or I used to watch PWG when I started 10 years ago. But I mostly watch TNA and WWE. Not even All Elite.
Mm.
I'm not that much of a fan, um, but I've been dying to wrestle, sorry, against Jessica Havoc.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, she's one of my inspiration. I really, really like her. So it would it would be really, really nice. But I had one of my goals achieved in the last couple of months. Lufisto actually booked me against Vanessa Craven,
Mm.
and it was my first match against her in the women's wrestling syndicate, and I was really, really happy I was able to check something out of my list.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome for you. Like you got a chance to get something off your bucket list. I could also see you fighting Jessica Black also.
yeah, yeah, I did a couple
And,
of
oh,
times
yeah, I
actually.
love Jessica Black. That's one of my homies there. She's been on the podcast, I think 3 times or 2 times. One time she
She's
was at
really good.
the States and she was training and she wrestled. She interviewed us outside on the front porch. I was like, this is, I can't. My mind's going, the Wi-Fi is going to cut on her. She'll be sitting there and the whole interview is smooth. Smooth like a beer and I was about to say in the morning. So, what am I doing? Afternoon, Joe. Jeez, but yeah, it was a really smooth interview. No Wi-Fi cutting, no stuttering. It was all good. So when you like travel, like you said, you
Mhm.
traveled to Pennsylvania
Yep.
before. When you travel, do you have to like pack accordingly? Like put your gear in one duffel bag and then your travel clothes in another duffel bag.
I we used to do it. We used to go there by car, so it wasn't that hard. We just had to like have a bag with our stuff and the gear in another uh not maybe not a duffel bag, but like a suitcase. I have a small suitcase, so it was pretty easy. I don't had any, there were no troubles.
Well, there's some people that like they try to pack light with the regular clothes because they know they'll be only wearing it to get to the venue, and
Yeah,
then they're getting into their gear, and then
pretty
they're that
much.
wrestler.
I had
They're
like a
the.
small backpack for my stuff in my suitcase for my wrestling gear.
Do you have any merch? Do you bring like the
I
merch
do.
bucket with you?
In when we went to PA, I didn't have any merch. Right now, I have merch now. I have two T-shirts, I have pins, and I have magnets, and I have
Ooh.
photos. But when we were wrestling in PA, I had nothing.
Oh man, the fans were like, can I get an 8x10? No. Can I have a picture?
I
Sure, I'll take a
had
picture with you.
nothing. But yeah, I could take pictures with them. But it was it was maybe something like 8 years ago. So I was just starting. It was in my early career.
Mm. Have you thought
So
of
it
coming
was
back?
all new to me.
Have you thought of coming back to the States?
It's pretty hard for Canadians because all the visa thing and everything.
Yeah, it's the passport and
Passport is pretty easy. I have mine, but the don't have the right to cross the border to work.
mm,
Yeah,
that's
so it's
that's
hard.
the crazy part of it. You guys are doing your life dream, and you
And
can't even come over. Like it's
no,
like,
and Americans can come over. It's pretty easy, but Canadians are not uh, allowed.
so. Do you have any like fun stories from the ring or like during training?
Um, Fun. I have a ton of stuff, but uh, in the last years of my small career, the biggest stories I have are about injuries.
If you
So
want to
that
talk about your injuries, it's up to you. Go for it.
I don't mind. I had to had surgery for my knee because I torn my ACL, and it was the stupidest thing. You know, when you wish when you're like telling a story that your injury was because you did a huge move from the top rope or something like that, but nah. I just tried to strangle my friend with with my foot, and the other leg just went bye bye. That's it.
Oh,
It in front of my whole family. Like my grandparents were there, my aunts were there, my uncles, everyone, because it was in my hometown. So yeah, I had to be moved from the ring to backstage with the huge cases with for music. The musician have like
oh
that
yeah, those
huge cases.
buckets, right?
It it's not buckets, it's huge black cases that rolls.
Oh yeah, my dad has one of those. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the band that were playing after us had to bring one of those big case to for me to sit on it and then roll me backstage
Oh my
because
god,
I wasn't able to walk, and all my friends were like more than 6 feet tall, and I'm 5'4", so they were dislocating my shoulders, so, trying to get me like this. So
did you
yeah,
know immediately?
I knew there was something wrong. I couldn't say what because it was the first time I had any injury. But
Mm,
I knew there was something wrong with my knee. I couldn't walk. I couldn't put weight on it. Sometimes even just moving hurt. So it took. I think it took 2 to 3, uh, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to know what was actually going on because
mm.
the health care system over here, it's nice because it's free, but everything takes like so much time. I was lucky because I was able to get an appointment really quick because I paid for it. So yeah, so I knew
Nice.
I had a torn ACL, and I had a something else in the side of my knee. My surgeon had to put uh he reconstructed the ACL with the front ligament, the ligament that is in front of the knee, and put something a piece in the side of my knee just to hold everything together. So right now my right knee is stronger than my left knee now
Mm.
because of everything. So yeah, but that's part of the game. So I was lucky. It took 8 months to get back in the ring. So my injury occurred on June 3rd, I think, of
Wow,
2022. And I was back in the ring in March 2023.
wow.
Yeah.
You're so lucky that like that could have just totally
Yeah.
got you. You know what I mean?
And
You could have.
yeah, exactly. And I'm lucky. because I don't have to have a knee brace to wrestle.
Yeah.
My knee is completely fine, so I don't need a knee brace, which is a good thing.
Is there
Because
any limits for you that you with your knee? You do you know you can't do this like top rope move, or like is there anything you like you like take like a little bit of a step before you go off the top rope and stuff like that now?
I usually don't go on the top rope just because I'm really not a high flyer. I'm really more of a striker and a bruiser.
Mm.
So uh, when I used to go on the top rope, it was because we were doing. I don't know if you remember the Quebecers in WWF at that time. They were doing a top rope move that one of them was standing on the ring and the other one was getting on the third rope, and they were doing like a kind of a swanton bomb, but the other one would drive the
Oh
one
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
was on
yeah,
the.
yeah.
I did that move with my old partner. It was our finisher, our finish move, and that's pretty much the only time I was able to get on the top rope because I was able to hold myself on him.
Mm.
But I'm not able to get on the top rope by myself,
Yeah.
sadly.
Stay
I want
away
to work
from
on. I really want to work on that, but not right now.
I know it's probably for you. It's probably like a bad thought in your brain because like that's one way you got injured. So like, what
I
they like?
wasn't even. I wasn't. I was not on the top rope.
Oh, 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 oh!
I was on the ground trying to strangle her in the corner.
Wow,
Easy as that. Yeah,
wow!
yeah.
My
It,
gosh!
it was stupid. Really, really stupid. But
Yeah.
eh, what
So
can I do?
when you go to the shows, if it's like a 1 day show, do you have to like pack a lunch and then eat after your dinner or whatever you're gonna have after the show?
I Shows are usually an hour and a half away from my home, so I don't really pack anything because I have a lot of difficulty to eat before a show. I'm gonna take just a protein shake or something like that just to have something in my stomach because I don't know. Uh, I'm someone who um, has a lot of stress before a match, so the stress just takes the hunger away. So eating is really hard on wrestling days. Even
Mm.
after the show, there's too much adrenaline. My stomach is not there.
Yeah, that I can imagine your stomach must be going crazy because after a match, you're like, oh, you're so pumped.
Yeah.
So if you do get a bite to eat after the show, like where is like your spot? Is it a gas station? Is it a local spot that's still open? Like what is it?
It depends, but usually mostly gas station, like small sandwiches or something like that. Just something I have a couple bites. Jerky, beef jerky is usually my go-to because of the protein, but it's pretty. It does not happen often. Usually don't eat before or after. Like I said, maybe like having lunch or something like that, but I don't have dinner or anything.
Yeah, it happens because I'm talking to wrestlers. They've gone to the McDonald's, or they'll go to the Burger King or the
It
Taco
happens,
Bell.
but
Yeah, or the
uh,
Taco Bell.
we
Yeah.
don't have any Taco Bell here.
Okay, once again, if you're watching this Taco Bell, and I'd be so happy to have you as my sponsor, because my sister and my mom would be like, "You're not sponsoring us." Taco Bell, you hear this, young lady? There's no Taco Bells in Canada. No
There in
bells
Canada,
across the
there is
border.
not in Quebec.
Not in Quebec. Okay, in Quebec.
No,
You need to go to
but
Quebec.
I
You need
I
to go.
think there's one in Quebec, but like I've never been there.
See,
I'm
you have
not
to
a
show up
big
at your 8
fast
by
food.
10 and be like, if I'm your very first wrestler that's ever come through the doors, you need to hang this on the wall. I'm a celebrity.
I'm actually sponsored.
Oh, who's your
Yeah.
sponsor?
It's a company called Alpha Tango, which is a spirits company,
Ooh,
and I did the promotion of their summer drink, which is a gin, a raspberry gin, but a basil raspberry gin, and they sponsored one of my gear. So I don't know if you saw any of it on Instagram or even Facebook, but the Smash gear, like this, I have the word Smash on my hip. It's because that's the name of the drink.
oh wow, cool. I got. Do they sell liquor in America, or is it only
Nah,
Canadian based?
it's only in Quebec.
Oh,
It's a Quebec company.
I was about to say, man, if it's in America, I may have to pop in the liquor store and get myself a little bottle and be like,
No, sadly, it's only
dang.
can. It's a 4 pack of cans, but yeah,
Oh, it's a
it's
can.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
are you on the can?
no, I'm not on the can, but I did the all their publicity online was with me because I was fighting. I was actually trying to beat the drink because the catchphrase for it, the catchword actually is unbeatable. So I was trying to beat the drink by trying to make my own recipe for it, but I lost.
Oh, gee, you lost to your own drink. Oh no. Oh
It's
no.
okay.
You'll get a rematch. It'll be a part
Yeah.
two,
But
different.
my gear was so full of raspberries. Like I had I really was worried about it um getting cling after that because usually raspberry like uh it stays on clothes.
Oh yeah,
But my gear was fine after that. I was really happy.
yeah. Like with that situation, to get the like the raspberry out of your gear, like I know wrestlers usually take their gear and stick it like in the bathtub and like put like the soap and water. Like, how do you clean your gear between shows?
In my washing machine, just the on cold water, flipping them over, and that's pretty much it. I
I've seen wrestlers put them in their bathtub. Like
Yeah,
they fill
I've
the
seen
tub with
that.
water, put like the soap in there, and they just
Yeah,
let it
like
soak.
just like them soak. Yeah, I saw. I've seen that. I've seen people washing them by hands too,
Mm.
but on cold water on the delicate cycle on my washing machine, it's good.
Who made your gear?
It's a wrestler named Angie Sky who now has a company in French called Création Nocturne. And yeah, she's made all of my gear since day one.
Awesome. Do you when you're thinking about a new pair of gear, do you like get a sketch pad and just like sketch a few like designs out and stuff like
Oh
that?
crap, no. No, I'm a horrible drawer. uh, I'm not able to draw anything. She's the one doing all the aspects of it, like the design, the colors, the look, the everything. She usually has a blank card with me. Like she can do whatever she wants.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I figured I know a lot of wrestlers they sketch their own gear. Imagine you sketch something and you thought you put like you made it like your gear you have now, and they made it like they you put the box around the arms and it comes out and they give it to you and it's like you just you put a t-shirt with shorts connected. I thought that's what you wanted.
That's all I can do.
I'm
That's all
sorry.
I can draw.
No. You could
No,
do.
I'm really bad at it. So yeah,
Mm.
she's the professional. So I'm just letting all that.
I guess you just tell her what you want and she puts it together and shows you what you put
Not
together.
even no, I don't. I don't even have to tell her anything because she knows me so well. She's one of my best friends. She knows me so well that she usually does something she knows I'm gonna like because we've been working together for like 8 years now.
Mm.
So The only gear she didn't made for me was the very first one, because at first my character was like kind of a superhero thing, and I had a mask.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was kind of a luchador. But yeah, I had a mask. So that gear was not made by NG Sky because I didn't know her at that time. So when I started going to PA, actually, we got to know each other. And one time when we started going there, we weren't able to cross our gear because, like I said, the with the visas and everything, it's really hard for Canadian to go work in the States. So we were shipping our gear by FedEx or something like that, and we were just crossing the border as tourists. And the first time I got there, my gear was not shipped in time.
Oh, no.
So yeah, so I had to borrow a gear from Lufisto, under gear from Mickey Knuckles, who was there at that show, knee pads, everything. All I had was my boots because I wrestle with Converse high knee boots, so that was okay in my suitcase because it wasn't wrestling related. So yeah, all I had was my boots. But
Oh,
that got me the look I have today because it was
so
the
the
very first
famous
time.
deathmatch Mickey Knuckles gave
Yeah,
you part of her gear.
yeah.
Have you ever thought of getting in a match with her? Because I know she's deathmatch. A lot of people are like, deathmatch, like
I'm
you
not
get.
a big deathmatch fan. I did tables, chairs, and ladders, but that's pretty much it. The biggest hit I ever taken was a huge kendo stick hit in the back. The kendo stick broke in my back, and I had
Oh,
a mark like this large, this long in my back for almost 3 weeks.
oh,
But that's the most hardcore I've ever been.
wow. What'd you do if Mickey's like, I want to challenge you to a match and I want you to come to my world? What would you do? Would you take it?
I don't know. I don't know. Um, I really like her. She, like I said, she was there when I needed her, and she's really really friendly. But I don't know if I ever want to do something like that.
It's a
It's
fun adventure, but it's really rough on your body because I've spoken
exactly.
to lots. I've spoken to a lot of deathmatch wrestlers. Like one of them from Canada, Jules Malone. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I know her.
love Jules. Such a good
Yeah,
person.
she's
She's a
really
doll.
fun. Yeah,
Don't tell that to her face.
she's a
She'll you'll find my glasses shattered in the corner and she'll be like,
no,
Joe,
she's a
you made me
sweetheart.
do this to you.
Yeah.
Joel, you said you loved me. Wrestling. We don't love each other. Joe. Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm already 31 and almost 32 in a couple of months, but I don't know. I'm not sure I want to do that
So
even with her.
yeah. Jeez. So like what would you say, like, if you had a chance to like look back at your career when it started to
Mhm.
now, like what would you think? Like what would you tell your younger self, your young wrestling self? Like what would you tell them?
Um, to just go through everything and just continue to push, never quit. I never did, but it sometimes crossed my mind in all those years. But just to do what she loves, and that's pretty much it. Wrestling. I'm gonna borrow words from Lufisto, but um, in her one of her Hall of Fame introduction, she said, "Wrestling has been my uh the longer relationship I've ever had in my life. And that's true for me too. I've never been with anyone longer than that. Wrestling has been the main relationship I've ever had, and it's always been there for me. Whether I was going through bad times or good times, it was there. And it's the biggest love hate relationship I've ever had too. But I think every wrestler is gonna answer you the same thing. Wrestling is a love hate relationship. It's an addiction. It's like a drug.
Mm.
And when I hurt my knee, I was really, really scared I wasn't able to do it anymore or do it like I was doing it before the injury. And it was really hard, both mentally and physically for me. But it was so important to just do everything that I could to get back in that ring. And that's what I did. And that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of. Just working so hard on myself, on my mind, on my body to be where I am today. I'm grateful for everyone I've ever met because of wrestling. Like 95% of my friends are from wrestling, either wrestlers or people working around the shows. Or, like I said, wrestling has been the most important thing in my life for the last 10 years, and it's still going on. I love it. I want to, I don't want to stop wrestling ever again. So, yeah,
Mm.
I,
So, oops, sorry. Were
no,
you
it's
would
okay.
were you like just like not really watching? Did you ever see yourself doing this so much? Like you said that you like as a kid, did you ever think that you were gonna be a wrestler, or it was
Never.
just always the never?
No, never. I know most of people are gonna tell the story that they were watching wrestling with their grandparents or their parents when they were young and everything, but I never knew what wrestling was before I was 20. So one of my friends, my trainer actually, invited me to see a show in the company I'm mostly working with. So that is the FCL. In French is the Fédération Canadienne de Lutte, but in English is the Canadian Wrestling Federation. And he invited me to see a show, and I was like, wrestling? What the hell is wrestling? I I've only seen that in movies. Like I knew The Rock, I knew Hulk Hogan, but that was pretty much it. So I I said, okay. I mean, I'm in college. I want to have a great time tonight. I just want to go out. So let's go. So I saw the show and I immediately fell in love with all that um the show part of it, the sport part of it too, because i I did judo and karate when I was a bit younger. So the fighting aspect of it was really, really interesting for me. But it really was the show part of it that I fell in love with, because I have a diploma in theater. It In Quebec, it works a bit different from the states or any other province in Canada, because we in Quebec we have like high school, and after high school we have college that is usually between 1 to 3 years, and after that there is university. But
Mm.
we don't have to go to university to have a job. Usually the diploma you get in college are enough. So for Some jobs you have to go to university. But I tried to be an English teacher actually,
Oh
but it
wow.
wasn't for me. So I stick with my college part, and the first degree I've ever had was in theater. So when I went to that show and I saw all the improv and theater part of wrestling, it was love at first sight. I asked my friend, uh, "Are there classes? Is there anything I can do to like do what you're doing in the ring?" And he said, "Yeah, there's a school, a wrestling school at this company, so you can try." So I tried, and here I am, 10 years in.
Wow. 10
Yeah.
years. So, um, if my fans want to pick up any of your merch, is there like a website you have, or do you only sell them at shows? Like, how do you do your merch?
I usually just sell them at shows because of the shipping. It's really it costs a lot, but I'm pretty sure there's something we can do. Like just talk to me on Instagram or Facebook, and we can arrange something.
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
pretty sure.
If my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
Yeah. On Instagram, it's Red Woman Azaelle. On Facebook, it's just Azaelle, and you can find me on TikTok too, Red Woman Azaelle too.
When I was doing my other podcast, Ghost Head Nerd Talk last night, my awesome guest from Texas, she was like, Tic Tac, Tic Tac.
TikTok. Yeah, I heard that. I watched a little part of that live podcast, and
Oh, you
yeah,
watched it?
I yeah, and I heard like the TikTok
And
thing.
did you see my face? I was just like, oh my
Yeah.
god. She was a good kid. She was a nice kid. I'm very me and Rain, we rock it. If you watched it, that if you guys check it out, Ghost Head Nerd Talk is my other podcast. It's definitely fun if you like nerd culture and you want to talk about the 80s and 90s and sort of the 2000s. Where your podcast right now, Dudes at Ringside podcast is what we're watching and what we're doing. If you have any shows that you're doing, and if for some reason any fans of my fans are in traveling to or from Canada that are watching
Yep.
this podcast, um, promote the shows that you're having this week or whenever.
This week I'm actually off. I have an off week because I have to travel to New Brunswick this weekend. But next week we usually in the summer it there's not really like regular shows. We mostly have spot shows, so shows in festivals or special events. We are at Expo Barbecue Bellechasse on July 5th. Then on July um, 13 and 14, I'm with the FCL at Expo Trois-Rivières and Mont-Carmel-en-Fête, which are, like I said, like special events in the summer. Um, and I have a couple of other shows like that, but the regular seasons are gonna start in September. I'm gonna be with WWS, which is the Women's Wrestling Syndicate, Lufisto's Women's Wrestling Syndicate. I'm going to be with the NSPW in Quebec City. I'm going to be with the FCL in Shawinigan. And I'm going to be with Les Goods Podcast, who are in Montreal. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome,
And you
awesome.
can watch, I forgot to talk about it, but you can watch Sisters of Wrestling on Vimeo.com. So you can rent the movie because I was part of a movie that tells it's actually a documentary more than a movie because we're following Lufisto, Will Farrell, and myself backstage and everything. So you got to know each wrestler a bit more um, in their private in the private part of their lives. But yeah, you can rent it online, so it's on Vimeo.com.
Awesome. Awesome. the Angry Red Woman. I want to thank you so much. I have to say your name 3 times fast so it doesn't sound like I'm messing up your name. The Angry Red Woman. Thank you so much for coming on Dudes at Ringside. Please tell your wrestling friends and LaFisto. The door is always open. As my boy, once great man that carried a lantern says, the lantern is always on. The buzzards are hot flying high.
Thank you so
Ray,
much for
we
inviting
love
me. It
you,
was
Ray.
really fun.
No problem. Thank you. And I'm Joe Panther III. Your turn.
I'm the Angry Red Woman Azaelle.
And we will catch you in the next.